What is up, traders? Stan Gluzman here, bringing to you today's trader takeaways. So today was a pretty decent day. Let's take a look at SPY. We have a very strong day on the SPY. Yesterday was a disastrous day. We opened up green and then sold off pretty much all day. So people were freaking out, but yeah, today we rebounded really nicely. But the main story is, of course, the Bitcoin. So we are trading much lower than yesterday. Today we were trading in under 10,000. So 9.5, 9.2 was the lowest. So everything's crashing, everything's collapsing, people are freaking out. And of course, we are trading blockchain companies. Let's take a look at some of the stuff we traded today. So I had Mara from yesterday, swinging it short from yesterday, took it overnight. I was really kicking myself for covering it too early, so in the afternoon I reshorted into this spike right here, got a pretty decent price, 370, and today I was really holding it as long as I could until it reclaimed VWAP. So I covered it right here above about 325 or so, 328 I covered in here right before this big spike. So got a pretty decent execution. Of course, could have covered a little bit lower, but that's the price you pay when you try to stay patient. Sometimes you're not going to get the bottom. The next stock was NURO. This one is an interesting one. It gapped up. It was the highest. I don't even know what the news is, to be honest with you, because it was just a pure chart play. It was the highest volume low floater on my scanner, and when I pulled it up, it cracked this level right here, the 285 level, and it was trading below it. So naturally, I mean, a lot of volume traded in here. So everybody who bought it is now underwater. Very simple idea. Got to keep it simple, right? So I started kind of shorting, scaling in pre-market, and was up really nicely into this dump. And I didn't take any. I actually started adding. It started rallying at the open, but my stop was above this previous consolidation, and as it started dropping, I added to full size, had a pretty decent size position. So the rule here was trading around the core. So I had a core position and I had a full position. My core position was half the size of my full position. So adding into full size, now my average is about 85 or so, covered half at 71 or 72. It started doing this up and down, up and down. I was like, all right, if it pops above VWAP, I can't hold it, I'm shorting back to full size. And that's exactly what happened. We popped over VWAP. On the way down, I'm re-adding to full size. I think I got like 81s or 82s. So pretty decent average. Covered into the wash again. And tried to hold the rest, but these higher lows scared me away. So I actually covered I think 51 or 52 on one of these little dips here, maybe 50s actually. On one of these dips I covered, I was like, this is making higher lows and it's probably going to retest VWAP, and then I'm going to re-enter again. But took it off, and then I was looking to enter again, and I saw this little range right here, so I started shorting and covering, shorting, covering, and then I had a little bit of size. Held a little bit of size and covered it all somewhere in here. So overall, this, I believe, my best performer for the day. Read it correctly. Really working on patience, really working on adding in the money, trading the core position, making sure I have something in case the stock drops. I didn't have any on this drop. So I have to really kind of reevaluate myself a little bit on this one. But overall, good size, good volatility, and was being patient for the most part. The next stock was DPW. Had a quick scalp on this one. When it popped into this this level right here, I started shorting in here, anticipating a wash, and so it washed out. I covered it. Had pretty big size, but I covered most of it in here, and then once it popped, I covered the rest and left it alone. And the next stock was CNET. This one was the same idea as some of the previous ones. This one was a VWAP projection one. So this is one of my favorite setups. Opens up weak, Bitcoin is weak. This is a blockchain name, so rejects the VWAP. As long as it's not breaking through the VWAP, you can add in here, and then big wash, and I actually covered right here actually on 368 actually on one of these candles. Got pretty lucky with that because it did a double bottom and started kind of grinding up, and I covered it in here, and then it started spiking. So pretty good exit, really good trade. Next one was, let's see, MYSZ. This one was a quick scalp right here when it started doing lower highs, this little triangle. So I started shorting into these pops and then covered into this wash. Really nice clean scalp, and then left it alone. I mean, the level 2 was all over the place. So this one is not for the newer traders because you have to be very quick with execution. You have to be able to find liquidity and find it fast. And then the two biggest ones were Under Armour, so UA and UAA. I think this one is actually the biggest one. The moves here are pretty clean, so if you can get in one of these triangles and one of these consolidations, you can figure out which way it's going to break out. The follow through was really there, so I think I was long in here, risking just 2 or 3 cents and catching a pretty huge move. And so there was a buyer for the most part of the day. There was a buyer, but he was in and out. He would step on the gas, rally it up, and when he was gone, the stock would start collapsing. So this was one of these cases where it would rally up, and then this buyer would stop, and then the stock would collapse. So had to be really fast and had to always throw out orders and testing if buying is still there or not. So I was willing to lose a couple $100 to learn that information because it would make me back thousands of dollars in return. So that was a great risk reward. The biggest trade was right here when it double topped, and the buyer was still here. It double topped, it went back down, and I started throwing out sell orders. Couldn't sell anything, and to the buyer, and so started naturally shorting. So this was the biggest trade. Excuse me. This was the biggest trade right here. I got some decent size and covered pretty much at the close. Well, a couple minutes before the close, but tried to reshort it at the close and covered it into the wash. And then also UAA, same thing. They trade together, so same exact idea, same exact buyer was there, so shorted in here, covered into the big wash. So overall, I don't have a headache today, which is a great sign. So didn't really give back too much money, and yeah, really good follow through. I really enjoyed trading these markets, and looking forward to trading some of these names for the rest of this week and this month. So these were my trader takeaways. Feel free to smash the like button, subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.